First up is the Obsidian Web Clipper. We talk about Obsidian. Okay, I talk about Obsidian all the time. It is one of my favorite apps currently. There's the link, obsidian.md. And they have this other thing called the Web Clipper. And it's very handy, and you can use it with multiple browsers. So it's available as an extension for Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, Brave, Arc, Orion, Vivaldi. So even if none of those are your main browser, I do suggest just installing one of those browsers and making it your Web Clipper browser. But there's a feature in Obsidian Web Clipper that I want to highlight. And all you need is the Web Clipper extension. You don't actually need to download Obsidian for this feature to work. You just need the Web Clipper extension. So once you install the extension in however the browser of your choice handles extensions, go to the demo window. I'm on Ars Technica, by the way, because it's a site I visit often. And we'll give them a shout. We're going to be using an Ars Technica article for an example here. So you notice up in this corner here, I have this little Obsidian rock here saying that here's the Web Clipper, right? And I give it access to the site. And I'm going to pick an article. Let's pick this one. No one is happy with NASA's new idea for private space stations. And you go through, you can see all the ads and everything. And you get the article. That's great. And pictures. Now normally, Obsidian Web Clipper, you click, it opens up this little window. These are properties that appear in Obsidian, so you get the author, where the article came from, the title. You can change these. And then here is all the sort of, here's the HTTPS thing, and you get all this info, the little ad choices thing. This will basically clip the web page as is, but you can also delete stuff. So if I don't want to see ad choice and advertising when I clip this into Obsidian, I just, well, that's going a bit hard, but I select the word, I just delete it, and now those won't appear in my Obsidian Note version of the web page. So I can do that either before or after I get the Obsidian Note in, right? And it makes a nice little thing in Obsidian. And you just click Add to Obsidian, and it will add it. Real easy to use. However, there's also a bunch of features up here. So you can page variables, you can look at that if you want to view there. This is what we're going to talk about, this little open book symbol. This is the reader. This is the fantastic thing. There's a enable highlighter. We'll go through that. You can open in a page, and there's more settings. So the new thing is this right here, the reader. Now, when I click this is where the magic happens. It opens up a new link. Here's that same article on Ars Technica. Notice we have these words here, but most of the rest of the ads are gone. The pictures are out. But if you just want a clean view, oh, nope, the pictures are still here. So yay, you get the article pictures without the ads. So if you want a clean view of the article, click on that reader thing. It'll open up the article in a browser, and down here it even tells you Obsidian Reader, how many words, parsed in 34 milliseconds. I don't know how accurate the word count is, because I'm not going to count 1,903 words or thereabouts to see if that's really what there is. And you notice you even get navigation through the article if they decide to make headings for it. So you get the pictures, you get the article stripped of all the extra junk. There's no background, anything. You get the pictures that they include with the article. So this one has evolutionary assembly. I can increase it whatever I want. And right now you'll notice this is in my browser. Well, what can I do with this? Well, go back to the Web Clipper icon. And then what I can do is go here, and I can either copy this to a clipboard or I can save this as a file. So I'm going to switch out here to save the file. And okay, it wants me to save the file. It'll save it as a markdown file. Let's save it here. Let me make a new folder real quick, and so I can show you all this. Okay, so I made a new folder. Here it is. Here's the title of the article. It's at .md, so it's a markdown file. And then just click the save button as you would. It saves it. Tells you, that it saved it. It'll appear in your saved document. And then when I open this up, let's go to, I have to check my notepad real quick. Add a thing, close a thing. And sorry, I gotta hide some information here and there. So wait, what happened? Reader view? Sorry, problems. Hold on. Fixing. Let's see here. Doing it live means weird things happen sometimes, and you just gotta go with it. Sorry, it's weirdness on my end. Nothing the reader is doing. All right, there we go. And so it saves it as a markdown file, and then I just drag that into Obsidian. You can also open it in Notepad. You probably won't get the picture, but when you open it in Obsidian, you get this nice view. It preserves the links, so it'll activate the links for you. It'll keep those, and here's the picture, everything. And if we open up the side view, we have I have this. I always have my side view and outline view. So here we have the three things we saw before. So if you have a Markdown editor, it looks really nice. You can see it here, right down here. This is what I just saved out, and I added it to Obsidian, no problem. So yeah, I really like that. Hey, Springleaf, perfect time for more Obsidian, yeah! So I really like the Reader app. It's pretty fantastic. Being able to get a nice, clean view of a website is pretty great. Oh, that's not what I wanted. And just to kind of show off the difference here, let's see. One moment while I take a look at a thing. So yeah, you get a wonderful, clean reader view of an article. Gets rid of all the distractions around something. Go to Engadget. Here's an article about the PS5 getting more expensive. And again, go here, click Reader. Here we go. There's the pictures. There's a thing. Nice, clean experience. Again, it preserves the links. If there's links, they can always click those, get the more info. And if you enable highlighter, you can highlight whole paragraphs, and you can clip the highlights. You can also just highlight, one little bit. You don't have to highlight the whole paragraph every time. You just click and drag the mouse. And then when you export this out, it will, if you open it in, say, Obsidian or a proper Markdown reader, this highlighting will be preserved for you. And then if I want to get rid of the highlights, I just click that, click the X again, and I'm back to normal reading. So yeah, so instead of adding to Obsidian, just make sure you click the down arrow, copy to clipboard, or save the file out, and you get this very, very clean view of whatever you're reading. And this is incredibly useful. I like that it gets rid of all the background stuff that could be distracting. The ads disappear, and you're just working largely with the text, and all the links work. So, I want to know about the Steam Deck. I click there, it opens up the Steam Deck article. Then, I want this in Reader View too. Go here, click the Reader icon. Now I have this article in the Reader View. This can also work wonderfully depending on how it's coded, but for TTRPG articles and things like that, if you want to read them, and they're online, they have a web portal, and you just want to kind of be free of all the distractions around it, just click on the Reader. Anything that has a URL, you can give it a reader mode and have this fantastic view. Very little fuss. So that's one of my new favorite things. Again, you don't need Obsidian to use it. You just got to have a browser that supports a web clipper, the Obsidian web clipper, and then you can download the file or copy the text and paste it somewhere and have a nice reading experience. So yeah, I wanted to show that off because I thought that was great. It's one of my new favorite things. Oh, I accidentally closed out the Tech Friday Obsidian Vault. Didn't mean to do that. I need that. That's my notes for today. Can't function without my notes. I mean, I could try, but we'd be here a while. All right. Oh, and if you want, I have fancy instructional blue sky post about the Reader. So take a look at that, and that goes through step by step how to use it. There's even pictures and alt text. All right. So next up, let me get this up in another browser. All right, next up, macOS had an update to 26.4. This article is on 9 to 5 Mac, all about what's going on. And as we can see, lots of new features, bug fix. You get 8 new emoji. Oh boy, here they are. This is kind of nice that if you have an older Mac, they're like, hey, Intel-based apps, they're not going to work anymore. They open a Rosetta-dependent app. There's also this cool feature, which is a charge limit. And you'll probably want to set this down if you leave your laptop plugged in, because something about the battery, if it's always going to 100%, it'll wear the battery down faster. But if you keep it to 80%, your Mac battery will last longer. Something called Freeform, and you can subscribe to a Creator Studio. That uses AI, so we ignore it. macOS 26.4 also adds the compact tab layout in Safari. So if you use Safari, there's how you can get a compact tab view. And reminders, marking reminders urgent via keyboard shortcut. Can also filter urgent reminders in Smart Lists. Here's a pretty good one. Purchase sharing. Family sharing will no longer require all purchases to be charged to the credit card of the family organizer. So someone else in your family can put in their credit card. They'll still be on the family plan, but if they want a particular app, it will be charged to them and not to the main family account, or the account you put the family sharing thing on. And another great one, subtitles and captions. Your real-time preview available directly from the captions icon, and they're easier to find when viewing media. So some great upgrades to macOS 26.4. Can check those out. Pretty fantastic. Be useful for pulling lore into my campaign notes from various sources. Yeah! So let me show something off here. I'm going to use the basic rules on D&D Beyond. I want to look at the Ranger, please. So is it going to pull in everything every time? Probably. Oh, I see why it does it. So I'm on the Dungeons & Dragons D&D Beyond basic rules, so the free rules, so I'm not breaking any copyright things or anything. I activate the reader portion, and I get this. And I chose the character classes chapter, and now here they all are here on the side. And, the monk features, it's all here. Then if I just want Ranger, I click Ranger. Now I'm on here. And notice how it makes this into a nice table. Look how nice that table is. It gives you a description. Again, it preserves all the links. So if you just wanted this stuff, you can always just copy and paste what you want. But nice table organization. Normally you don't get such nice tables out of like a web clipping thing and pulling it into Obsidian, for example. But this does it really well, especially with the 2024 rules. The D&D Beyond team seems to have made it look real nice with markdown files, or in that you can use markdown type files with it. But yeah, it's all here. Again, these are the D&D Beyond basic rules, so free for everybody. You can look at these yourself right now. And what it's going to do is it's going to take that whole chapter you clicked on. So if you want a specific part of a chapter, you're going to have to click it. Like if I just wanted Barbarian and go through and, copy and just paste that. But you can do it. So, if you use Demiplane or Roll20, anywhere that gives you a URL that you can have your rules in, you can use the Obsidian Web Clipper Reader thing. And it's a pretty fantastic experience. I know I'll be taking advantages of it, like Rex says, for pulling lore into my campaign notes from various sources. As long as there's a URL and I can use the web clipper with it, fantastic. So yeah, any sources you have on Demiplane or you can access on Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds. Again, it just needs a URL, and it doesn't make you go through any sort of authentication process or anything because you've already authenticated with the website once you're in. So if it's material you have access to, you have access to it. The Reader app doesn't take that away from you, or the Reader view doesn't take that away from you. At least as far as I've done it. I mean, I obviously haven't tested every single weird login instance that there could be, but it does a fantastic job. And really, when I just need something to be distraction-free, It's great. Web Clipper, the Obsidian Web Clipper is also available for mobile devices as well. It keeps everything, all your clip content is stored locally. So if you put it into your Obsidian vault, since your Obsidian is a local app, everything stays with you. But yeah, the Reader app is pretty fantastic, even if you don't use Obsidian. But you should totally be using Obsidian. I don't know why you wouldn't. Okay, I know, but I'm gonna say you should use Obsidian. Just the thing. All right, so that we've gone over the Obsidian Web Clipper Reader thing. macOS 26.4. All right, there's a couple of open source things that I saw articles on this week that I found interesting, and let me get those open. So the first thing is this Fossify calendar, which is relatively new. In fact, if you go to their main website, it's still under construction. But here is the GitHub for it. It is basically an open source simple calendar with events, customizable widgets, and no ads. You can get it on Google Play, F-Droid, or Izzy Android, and you can see their main website. Welcome to Fossify. Website are in construction. Please check back later. They have more apps, but the calendar is interesting. I'm not sure what's involved in installing it. You might have to run a Docker container or something like that. So I found it interesting, even if I don't want to bother going through the steps to install it, unless I can just download a .exe or .msi and have it run. Same thing with this other app. About to say, there's a little pinging noise happening. I don't know what that is. There is another one called Pake, Pake, and you do have to install another tool. You can download ready-made packages. Never mind. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I see. It automatically has some stuff that is with no environment setup required. Okay, so there is some setup, but if you want to convert a website into a little desktop app and you're good with some programming skills, you can check this out. There's the GitHub for that. I'm like, that's a cool idea. And it supports macOS, Windows, and Linux. So if you know how to install these things with the command line and all that, go for it. All right. Now going into a TTRPG thing that is not part of our normal TTRPG discussion during the second part of the show. It's a new sound tool called Tabletone. It's another interactive audio type thing. You can download it through the Apple App Store or Google Play. There's even a Windows beta for it. And the app is free, and basically you buy the sound packs you want to use for it. Let's see, did that get right? Yeah. Right. So I'm just trying to get to images of... There are some really good images of what you can do with it. Maybe how it works. Yeah, here we go. So this is in their how Tabletone works. Quick start guide, key features. This way, like, they have a location and situation wheel. So forest, tavern, dungeon, justice situation. You can make it relaxed, suspenseful, action. You have this easy to use wheel. You know, you're in the tavern and you want it relaxed. It's just a couple little clicks. You also have intensity and mood sliders and a simple sound wheel. So, you know, Fireball, my favorite. Warhammer, you can, you know, get all these neat little options in a simple use interface on your phone. And then global ambiances, skirmish, rain, campfire, eerie whispers. So this looks like a really easy way to add sound into your TTRPG section. Let's go to the online store, take a look at how much stuff is. So you can get a complete season pass and a 2025 complete season pass in phase 1, $246. So this is everything they did last year. Or you can just get their phase 1 season pass. It includes this stuff, 56. If you just want a bundle, 35, 60, 71, you know, it just depends what you want. And then there's theme packs. So we can look at the theme packs. So if you want Dark and Monstrous, that's only $24. So if I click Twilight Grove, for example, it shows me that, you know, it comes in a fantasy bundle, 25% off with all those. I get this, and here's some of the options I get with it. And there's even a sample, and then down here it gives you what it gives. So go through what the packs have in them and determine if that's what you need, if this is an affordable option for you. I think it looks pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. So, but if you do, let me know. I thought it was a neat idea. I really liked the, let's see what they just have for fantasy packs. You know, so if you just want spell sounds, there's a whole bunch of spell sounds. Burning Hand, Scorching Ray, all these. I thought the little wheels you can use to automatically adjust the tone of the space was pretty cool. Kind of an easy, no-nonsense way of handling those adjustments to the soundscape. So yeah, give that a look. See if it is something you would like. Why didn't that go? Oh, there we go. So yeah. Doesn't have all the knobs and dials. It doesn't look like it has as many knob and dials as you'd get out of, say, if you went for Sirenscape. But I think it could be good enough for a lot of people. So yeah, wanted to make sure you all knew about that. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to go over for today? All right, so that does it for this week's Tech Friday. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Click like and subscribe and check out my other videos. That'd be great. Like and subscribe would be down there, and the other videos and things will be either here or here. You know, one of those. Choose those. And come by next week for more Tech Friday.